Welcome to Sting City.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you made it through last week's video that I know ran a little bit long, but today we're back in the garage. We're going to be bottling up that beautiful honey that we extracted last week. And then once we wrap that up, we're going to go out to the apiary and check on Pollinator Palace, where we put the empty honey frames back on, and we'll see if they're all cleaned out. So with that, let's get started. So for our bottling process today, there's just a few things we need. We got our big bucket of honey, of course, we extracted last week. I'd say there's about 2 gallons of honey in there. We got a bunch of little honey jars that we're going to be filling. Nice little flip top on them. And a little catch tray. We'll see how much of a mess we make with that honey. I do also have a funnel. I'm really hoping we don't have to use it because it's going to slow down the process quite a bit, but we shall see. So as you recall from last week, once we filled our bucket, we needed to let it sit and clarify, kind of deaerate for a week, which has been doing. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a film on top, but really not too bad. As we're filling the bottles from the honey gate, you'll see the honey gates kind of pulling out at the bottom of the bucket. So we'll just keep an eye on that film as it gets close to the filler, and then see what happens. Okay, here we are, ready to give this a shot. We're going to leave the lid on the bucket and keep any unwanted friends out of that honey as we're working on this. So we're going to loosen this nut up. And you're watching this the first time that I'm doing it, so let's see what this looks like. We can avoid making a giant mess. And it's oozing out. Let's lift this a little bit. Look at that beautiful honey flowing. Nice light golden brown color. It was hard to tell the color. It was just in the bucket. It looked very dark. Shut this down before it overflows on me. Good. Lock this back up. Now these jars are 1 pound jars. And I do have a little scale here. I'm curious to see what that jar of honey weighs. 1.2 pounds. Okay, looks good. So now for the fun of filling 2 dozen of these bottles. All right, we have wrapped up bottling the very first Sting City honey harvest. We got just over 22 bottles of delicious honey here. So with that, we're going to wrap up here and head out to the hives. We're going to check out Pollinator Palace, where we put those frames back on last weekend after extracting the honey, see if the bees have them all cleaned out. So with that, let's head out to the hives. All right, so here we are out at the hives, looking at Pollinator Palace here. Let's take the top off and see what things look like inside. Now what you didn't see from last week, while I was extracting the honey, I looked out here, and lo and behold, Pollinator Palace was swarming. I was surprised and a little disappointed by that, but basically, again, that just means that half of the bees in the hive were leaving with the queen to find a new home. The other half were left in here with a new queen on the way. It's a natural process. It's how they propagate in nature. So let's see what this looks like. Interestingly, yesterday, Kate and I were out here watching them, and we're pretty sure that we saw the new queen leave the hive on her mating flight, which was pretty cool. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but that's the one time that the queen leaves the hive, other than swarming. Now, my decision today is whether I should leave these on here or take them off, because there's a lot of a lot of pollen being brought in right now. Okay, so if you recall, these are the frames. This is the honeycomb that we extracted the honey from last weekend. And we put it in just to let the bees clean out the residual honey and fix up the honeycomb. And you can see that they have done an amazing job of it. It is completely dry and beautiful honeycomb. All right, since these girls are dealing with a new queen, I'm not going to disrupt it. I don't want to break into it any deeper. Um, I think for now I'm going to leave this on, see what happens. With that, I'm going to wrap up this episode. We bottled some honey, checked out the emptied honey frames, and things are looking good and as expected. So for now, take care, and we'll see you next time.